Amazing. Okay, so welcome to the masterclass where we're going to be walking you through the six-step formula for 10K months reoccurring. I also have the funniest share. We're going to share this quick to just address the elephant in the room. Washed my hair this morning for you all to learn that my blow dryer was dead. So that was fun. So we are here real and raw with you, and I'm quite loving it and super excited for the conversation that we're going to be having. So those of you that are newer to following me and those of you that have been around a long time, I feel like our message is pretty clear. We stand for creating scalable, sustainable, and secure income for women who are ambitious, women who are mothers, who are lovers, who are wives, who are just like here because you've known for a very long time you're meant for more. So let me know in the chat if that is you and which one applies for you. But a woman needs a business like she needs her man: strong, secure, consistent, and providing. Am I right? And that's when you will feel the most free. And I like to kind of share this story that I've been every spectrum of that woman, right? I've, been in the 14-year relationship, I've been solo, I've been single, I've been the single mom. And the most truest form of freedom that I've ever had in all of those realms has been when I've created security for and within myself and then brought that to the table, regardless of what that table was. Whether that's with my girlfriends or with a man, or if it's now in like this dating season of my life, no matter what it's been, having that form of security has truly allowed me to be all that I am, completely free, be able to model and give my children the life that I want to give and model for them, to be able to say yes to life and do the things that I've always desired and let that be completely normal. I've like left that world where, and I was there, 5 years ago, I was checking the bank before I was getting my groceries, asking my partner for money so I could take the kids somewhere because I was home with them, or just being in a place where I didn't feel like I could say yes to much of life. And that's where building the way that I have has really, sprouted from. And I feel like sometimes it's really important to remember that we've all had a chapter one, you know? So today I'm going to have a very just real conversation with you. Um, and I want you to remember that this space is for you. So bring all of you, bring your questions, bring your thoughts, bring the things that you've been feeling stuck on, your blocks. We're going to be working through them, breaking through them, and giving you the actions that are going to be supporting you specifically, in creating the momentum that you're looking for. So, hello, future millionaire. I'm Kandice Lee. I'm a devoted mother of two, a spa addict, a beach lover, and a mentor and a thought leader in the female entrepreneur space. So I've created a 7+ figure coaching company going against the rules in the last 5 years online. I'm a whole ass human, and I'm here to show you how to scale with simplicity. Okay, so before we begin, I want to make sure you guys can see the whole slides. Let me know that you guys can see the whole slides. I can remove, or I can change the setup of all of us up here. But before we begin, like I said, this space is to ask questions. I don't want this to just be like notes on a page in front of you. I really want this to change how you see business forever. So don't hold back. Whether you want to wait to the whole Q&A section at the end and bring all of your questions, if you want to ask them while we're working through each topic, you can do so. What would it feel like to know that you had at least $10,000 coming in every single month? I really want you to like feel the seat beneath you and feel into this for a second. Whether you made another sale or not, how would this feel for you? This masterclass was 110% sparked by my clients when I had actually shared that in August, we weren't selling anything. And so many of them, noticed their instant response of like, oh my gosh, I would be spiraling. I would be freaking out. And it's because we have a very, very large and healthy amount of high reoccurring income coming into the business. Where, like I said, if my children are, they're off school for the last summer or the last month of summer, we weren't in a lot of camps. There were things that we wanted to do. And I was just like, screw it. Like, this is what life is supposed to be about. Yes, I'm very ambitious. Yes, we love our goals, but having the presence and the ability to say yes to life and being able to breathe into feelings like that are what has allowed me to not just be the mentor or the CEO or the business owner, but the woman that I am today, not just for you, not just for my clients, but for my children and for myself. And I think that that honestly says a lot. Those of you that have had any experience in business ownership or just being ambitious your whole life, like proving your way, you know that you reach a point where you're desiring so much more than just to prove your worth, so much more than just the result, right? So, very excited to have this conversation. Security is the first word that comes to mind. Confidence. I love that, Amy. It was me. I'm the client. It was Casey. It was Casey. It's actually Casey and three others, but it was Casey, absolutely. Yes, confidence, showing my kids anything is possible if you believe and have a positive mindset. Yes, and the willingness to actually see it through, you know? So these 6 steps are how we simplify creating reoccurring income for women in my world, because I believe women deserve stability, freedom, and breathing room while building their unrealistic legacy. So we do have Q&A planned at the end, so definitely stay for the end for hot seat coaching. I have a very special offer that literally woke me up in the other night that I'm going to be sharing with you guys that I've never ever done before. So I'm very excited about that as well. And I'm just really excited to see where this conversation takes all of us together. So thank you for your shares. Super curious before we get into step 1. We start playing in this, I want to know what it is you're creating. Share with the chat, share with me. What are you creating? What are you currently bringing to life? What have you brought to life that you're taking to another level? What are you seeking more of? Let us in a little bit too, so that we can obviously have this perspective in play when we are hearing your shares, when I'm answering your questions. I want to know as much as I possibly can so I can make this as much about you as possible. So while you share, I will start with step 1. So we have step 1 is your beliefs and your mindset. And so those of you that know me know that I don't do like scripted. These are just like little notes to keep us respecting your time. Your girl doesn't do a script. We can't do that. But you're always creating your future with the thoughts that you choose to believe. I want you to hear me say that again. The thoughts you choose to believe. Because it's a choice. It is a choice. I am just as human as you. I had my whole moment with the shower, right? And I'm like, my hair's soaking wet. We'll get out the blow dryer. We'll crank the tunes. We're going to have a great morning. I literally had nothing on my calendar all morning. And the blow dryer just doesn't work. I'm like, okay, well, that's incredibly inconvenient. But also, I get to choose what I'm going to believe about this situation, what this gets to mean for me instead of what it doesn't mean for me, you know? And I feel like that's a really important conversation. And like, we get tripped up. We want the results so bad. We want the outcome. We want the business set up a certain way. We want a certain level of freedom, a certain level of security for our family, but we have to slow down enough to address the daily thoughts going on, because those daily thoughts are compounding just as quickly as your daily actions. What you believe is possible for you, what you believe you're capable of, what you believe you can create, how you believe you can experience it, it's all the same. So the most common gap I experience as soon as women come into my world is like, oh my gosh, I'm ready for really big cash months. Like I really want to normalize. And this could be big is different for everybody. Anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000 is pretty average amounts that I'm hearing from the women that come into my world. But they're still holding beliefs that keep them in the pressure, the comparison, and the survival patterns. And so that's going to be the pushing and forcing, the checking what everyone else is doing before you do your own thing, that just keeping tabs on what everyone's doing in case you miss something, in case you get an idea from them, instead of just fully leaning into your own self-trust, your self-leadership, not holding the boundaries that you would need to actually have in order to run a very successful and high income business, right? Doubting every single thing that you go to do or that you have done. These are so common. So the way that our mind is wired for success, or the way that our mind is wired, is going to dictate our current level of success. And so you can always look at your reality and then ask yourself, do I think thoughts that support my current reality and keep feeding it? Or am I starving the current reality and am I feeding the future reality? And I used to have like gut moments, like gut check moments with that on a regular basis. Getting in the car, gut check. Cleaning up the kitchen, pause, gut check. washing the dishes and like stepping away from that, that's done. Check. And just constantly becoming so more cognizant and aware of the thoughts that you are thinking and asking, am I feeding the current or am I feeding the future? Because you can't do both. You cannot do both. It'll just keep you in that void, in that in-between space that we all know is so freaking uncomfortable. So, your beliefs in your self leadership must match where you're going, not where you are right now. Otherwise, you'll keep recreating the same reality over and over. And I think quite a few of us in this room can attest to how uncomfortable this can be at certain times, but how absolutely life-changing it is. I know Casey's in the room and she's already shouted herself out for being the reason, one of the reasons that this masterclass came to life for so many of you. But again, we can be so ambitious and be very driven and very quick to execute. But if we don't slow down to check in with our identity and our beliefs, it will become our biggest bottleneck. Okay, let me read through some of these and see what's coming up for you guys. Okay, habit and performance coaching for ambitious working moms, identity habits, mom guilt, burnout. Yes. Jen, supporting high achieving women dealing with suicidal thoughts and mental health struggles. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. Okay, one-on-one group programs just starting in this direction. I can't wait to hear more about that, Jen. Lauren, transitioning from one-to-one to group coaching. We love this. You already know how much I love this. Doing more speaking engagements. Okay, I'm excited. Trying to build digital offers for moms, pregnant women for the first time. I'm expecting baby number 3 in February, and I want to have income coming in and more freedom. Amy, that's so fun. You're in, oh, I like, obviously I'm not in it anymore. I know when you're in it, it just feels like a lot, but like that starting season and like really playing into the reality that you want to experience is so fun. So fun. We've got Bailey, a homesteading mama who created a small business in the natural skincare tallow, investing myself more and currently finishing up my naturopathic practitioner certification, wanting to offer one-on-one consults as well as digital offers, new to this and trying to figure out how to branch out and expand. Thank you for sharing this. So good. So I want you to write this down. My beliefs will be what simplify my results or hinder them. Okay. Put it on a sticky note. You can take a picture of it. You can put it on the screensaver of your phone. Put it somewhere front and center. You can write it on your mirror on a whiteboard mark with a whiteboard marker. Okay, your beliefs will play out in your self-leadership, your decision making, how you take action, what you prioritize, and how you hold yourself. They are noticeable. So many of you are here because you want more. You want more sales, more clients. You want to be able to set your business up differently to support you. But you want to remember that everything is energy. There's going to be so much strategy and so much energy throughout this entire masterclass because they're both so important. And if we aren't cleaning up these little gaps, they are things that are experienced and felt by those around us, whether they're, written out in front of us or not. And so cleaning them up and recognizing where you are holding yourself back will dramatically change the way that you show up, the way that you lead, the way that you talk, the way that you speak, the way that you attract things, the way that you handle conversations, how you handle sales, because we're going to be getting there, right? How you attract and repel in your marketing, how you set up your offers and fully believe in them. They are always so noticeable. So here, and you can write this on a sheet of paper. So you're just gonna you can either split the sheet in half like this or horizontally. But a simple exercise to start identifying the beliefs needed and the ones that have been keeping you where you are so you can recognize which ones you're no longer available for. So we're gonna write our current beliefs and then beliefs you would have. And what I want you to do is really, truly, and we can pause for a couple of minutes too here, and I'll just mute and give you guys a couple of minutes to really take note. What are my current beliefs around what I want to see happen? So get really clear on that. What is it that I'm wanting? Okay, I want to take my one-on-one and create more groups. Okay, well, what beliefs do I have around scaling that way? What thoughts am I thinking more regularly than I would like to? What are my current dominant beliefs that are running my current show? Whether it's starting, whether it's building, whether it's scaling, whether it's pivoting, whether it's adding more offers, what are my current beliefs? And then I want you to take note and tap into where you're going, that reality, what that looks like, who you would be being. And ask yourself, well, what beliefs would I have to have in order for that reality to be normal? What things would I think when I'm cleaning up the kitchen, getting ready, commuting, driving the kids, dropping the kids off, playing with the kids, going through life on the weekend, going through life on a weekday? What beliefs would I have to have? And I'm going to actually give you a minute with this so that we can make sure we are addressing what's going on. Okay, so if you're not finished, there's no rush. Remember too that you can bullet point. You can come back, continue to do this exercise, but I'm super curious if anything really sticks out to you. Anything that you feel called to share? Finished, amazing. Perfect timing. Anybody wants to, yeah, a gap that you've now noticed. When you look from one side of it to the other, some of my current beliefs are completely not true. Yes. Isn't it so great when we can look at it and be like, but is this really true? Is this real? Is this me? Um, Oh, it's so freeing. And also, like, every single time that you find that you are in your head, that you're overthinking something, that you just don't feel as connected to where you're going, write that out because you can really quickly notice and identify any little gaps. You can do this with actions you're currently taking, the way that you're leading yourself. There's so many different ways that you can obviously do that exercise to be able to quickly and clearly identify what's true, what's needed, what to focus on. So good. Okay, so now we're going to be digging into clarity and identity. So before you expect them to pay you, you need to know who you are. So I want you to get out your journal or your notebook, start a new page, and just put clarity at the top. This is not about perfect. I just want to have you know you can come back and do this whole thing. You're going to get this replay. You can do this whole thing over again. You can swipe through to each of the step slides and finish out some of the prompts afterwards as well. But I want you to just jot down. Okay. Who am I? When you think about your business, your mission, your products, your services, what you want to do, what you want to birth into this world, or what you're adding more gasoline to. Who am I in this space? I also want you to write this and check your posture. Like put your shoulders back a little bit, assert yourself, take up some space. Who are you? What do you stand for? One of the biggest gaps when I'm supporting clients with their message, and it doesn't matter what their niche is, literally always true. They're like, I'm getting likes, I'm getting saves, I'm getting shares, I'm going viral, all the things. Nobody's buying. Like, yeah, it's because you're blending right in. You sound like everybody else. And especially with AI and ChatGPT and all the other resources now, if you really want to have a powerful presence, a felt presence, and a paid presence with simplicity, so without having to do so much more, you're going to want to really identify what you stand for and what you stand against, which is our next prompt. What do you stand against? And stay very clearly connected to the prompts that we're doing right here and make sure that we're bringing that into the marketing section, which we're going to get to in a few slides here. What do you stand against? And what are you normalizing in your world? So when you think about the work that you're doing, the products that you have, the offerings that you want to bring to life, the digital products you want to create, what are they going to help your dream buyer normalize or create or do for themselves? Is this something that you are holding in your identity, in your representation, in your embodiment, in how you are showing up, and how you are sharing, what you are allowing yourself to be seen, known, and paid for? So take a minute with those, any of those, if you need to finish them up. Oftentimes when I'm working with women who, I mean, let's face it, we hold a lot in our lives, right? I'm definitely here for the whole ass woman. We hold a lot. And there will be seasons where you're feeling inconsistent, where you're just not in it, where I think you just don't have that same spark. And this might be, years, like you might go years of feeling super in it to like having something happen in your life where you drop it. It literally looks different to every single woman. You might go through a season once a month when, before your bleed starts. You might like there's all sorts of things that happen in your life that will have this tendency to wobble your consistency. But coming back to this identity will always drive consistency. So you'll be able to execute with a sharper mind. You won't be overthinking it as quick as much. You'll be able to actually take action and implement. Love that. You'll be able to actually implement and move no matter what's going on. You guys, okay, I'm not going to keep assuming. For those of you that don't know, I went through a separation from my 14-year relationship with my co-parent and the father of my children. This was 3 years ago now. And one of the things I had never, as an adult, lived alone, or as a woman, lived alone. I had never had to share my babies. Hardest thing. There were so many things I had never had to do. So I was holding so much. The same time, I had a business that needed me, an assistant that was relying on me, clients that were looking to be supported, and a mission on my heart that I still wanted to fulfill. And so, though there were so many things that in that season were like wobbling my consistency, my emotional state, my nervous system, and all of the inner workings of just being a woman and a mother and a business owner, the one thing I did every single morning was journal those prompts. And so my phone's still on airplane mode. We can get into boundaries in the Q&A if you guys want, but like my phone would still be on airplane mode and I would be journaling those prompts. And then I would turn on my phone and I would do my daily method of operation. So then I would do my stories. If I didn't have, I don't know if you could schedule at that time. I think this was like right before scheduling took place on Instagram, but I would get my content out for the day. I would do anything that involved output energy and creativity so that I knew that I wasn't just posting to post. I wasn't just, pushing out a bunch of content in hopes that one went viral. I was being so intentional because one, I didn't have time to kill. I had no desire to waste any more time and energy. I wanted to heal my heart, be there for my kids, and support my clients from a place of quality and overflow as much as I possibly could. And that's how I created my own like consistency system, we call them. And this looks different for every single client, but if you're operating in your marketing, in your messaging, in your client delivery, in the creation of your business, in the creation of your product or your offer, and you're not consistently checking in and clarifying, who the hell am I? What do I do? What do I stand for? What do I stand against? Who am I helping? What am I normalizing in my world? You will start to feel a disassociation or a disconnection to what you're doing, who you're helping, what your message is, how you're going to stand out, and then obviously how you're going to be recognized and paid for that. So dropping into her, that energy, that posture, that presence, right? Before turning on your work brain. If you take anything from this masterclass, I hope that it is this. So if you want to take a picture of this slide so you can just put it in its own little album, call it the morning list, morning prompts, please do that. Because if you want clients to recognize you, you need to recognize yourself first. That is going to change the tonality, the way that you present yourself, the way that you speak, and you are practicing being heard daily or waiting. Oh, sorry. Are you practicing being heard daily? Okay. Or do you fall into the pattern? Maybe you do it for a couple days, or you listen to an audio or at least a song every day that gets you into the vibes, the energy. And then you kind of fall off and you start waiting until the money arrives so that then you feel like her. And that's something to really check in with yourself because it is 1,000% unsustainable. It is not going to create scalability. It is most certainly not going to create a nourishing, wealthy reality for you and the life that you want to be living. Okay, so practicing being heard daily so that you are unwavering no matter what the reality is. Whether you get a sale today or you get 10 tomorrow, or so you don't get a sale today, you get 10 tomorrow, whether you don't get a sale for 3 days, but then you have your best weekend ever. So much can happen. And we can talk about this in the Q&A too, because I absolutely love getting into this. So much can happen when you are practicing recognizing who you are being and what you are normalizing, no matter what. No matter what happens in life, no matter what happens in business, no matter what happens with clients, no matter what happens in your relationship, no matter, what sibling rivalry went on that morning, no matter what, you are being her. Have to jump off for another call. Loving this. Bye, Casey. Yes, this is where I struggle most is being consistent. I feel like summer threw me right off with being a mama, and summer is go, 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 but accepting it's okay to take breaks and coming back. Yes, yes, and name it. I feel like sometimes too, when things go unplanned or as women and as mothers, we have to kind of pivot, right? And so like things will happen where it's like, oh, I had to switch gears a little bit here. Or we kind of get upset or frustrated. I used to deal with a lot of like frustration or like, this sucks because this isn't what I wanted. This isn't how I planned it. But instead, naming the season, taking all of August, that was like my slow down to speed up. That was me practicing so much freaking gratitude for the choices I have made that have led me here, the decisions I've had to make that have led me here, the work that I've done, the output, the way that I've held my beliefs while the rest of the industry called me unrealistic, thought that I was crazy, continued to push and hustle, continued to do approaches that were like literally depleting them. August was a month of me practicing all of that, coming back to recognition, slowing down, really nourishing me and my children so that I could speed up because I had really intentional goals for September and October. And so naming your season, if you're in the building season, like find a name that feels really fun and activating for you. This is my season. The season could be 3 days, it could be 3 months. Okay. But finding that and like really starting to identify that and put that into your beliefs as well, so that again, you're approaching it differently. Okay. Own the outcome that your work allows people to experience. So they need to know who you are. This is your brand identity, what you do, the transformation that you support them with, why people love you or your approaches. Okay, this is the social proof and how they can get involved, which is a CTA. You guys are all familiar with these things. Okay, any certain questions that are coming up, you guys can feel free to drop them in the chat. As we work through them, I will check this and we're going to get into business models and offerings for reoccurring income. I know that you guys are obviously, I feel like quite a few of you have made note that this is a big desire as you're creating new offerings, switching up your offerings. So just know that as we work through this, if you want to unmute yourself, ask questions about how you're currently structuring things, what you've currently got going and what you're creating, we can most definitely do that. I purposely waited this morning, by the way, to have my coffee so that I could have it with you guys. There's just something about a nice, warm, frothy, fatty coffee when you're presenting. Okay, so build with high ticket reoccurring income in mind. I always call this the exhale and security as a woman. And you guys get this. Again, that feeling of knowing It's all good. Like it is literally all good. Yeah, did I make a sale today? It's all good. Literally tomorrow I could blow my own mind with like the results, with the sales, with the growth, whatever it is. So building a business that is not based on popularity or what others are doing, and one that actually matches your vision, the day-to-day life that you need as a woman and desire as a woman. Let's take those two words into serious account. What I need and what I desire. Because if I built my business how most of my peers were at the time, let's say 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago, I still wouldn't be the mom that I get to be today. I wouldn't have the space and the availability to pour into my health and to take care of myself at the extent that I do. I wouldn't have the resource to be able to say yes to life or give myself this opportunity of life or my children. I had to really tune out the noise and build for my needs and my unique desires. Your business, what you're building, what you're creating, how you're setting it up, the way that you support yourself is nobody's freaking business and is not meant to be understood. Okay, we need to stop building in a way that's understood or we're hoping people can understand. It's none of their business. But it is your responsibility to make sure that you're building for yourself. So you can stop starting over each and every single month, right? So revolving door offers and high ticket experiences is what I really want to talk about here. Lauren, you're going to love this because you guys know how I feel about relying on back-to-back Zoom calls and how many of us get into the trap of thinking we want a business. So then we sell our soul to these one-on-one calls and we're living on Zoom and we're calling it freedom, although we feel absolutely depleted. You know, we're experiencing all of these burnout symptoms. I see this on a regular basis when women are coming into my world. And that's mainly because I experienced this 5 years ago when I thought that that was the only way. And that's when I realized and I really had to assert the boundaries, the DMO, and a lot of the things that we're talking about today to see it differently so that I could approach it differently. And so revolving door offers, this honestly, it's a little tricky to put into one masterclass. Ooh, Lauren, I'm going to read that in a second because it's so unique to every single client. Every single client that I've supported sets this up in a very different way. We've got functional practitioners, we've got nutritionists, hormone practitioners, we've got mindset coaches, financial coaches, relationship coaches, business mentors, mindset coaches, marketing coaches, life coaches. We've got them all. We've got realtor, like we've got a whole mix of women that are just in really ambitious industries. And so when you think about setting up your offers in a revolving door way, the whole goal of this is to support your system and support your energy, knowing that we do ride a monthly cycle. We are not, operating on a 24-hour cycle where every day we can expect the same level of energy out of ourselves. So I came up with this model for myself when I realized I do not enjoy pushing and launch cycles and oh my gosh, launch planning and like that push and crash, that feast and famine cycle. So many ride, so many. I have so many peers, so many friends, so many amazing women in my life that unfortunately are riding this cycle of exhaustion and they are fully aware of it. But it is so normalized that that should be business. That's entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship is a lot of things, but it most certainly shouldn't be out here depleting you. So setting up your business model and your offers that you're offering or your products in a way that support your day-to-day and the client result. And so this can look different, like I said, for absolutely everybody. But I think the biggest question is ask yourself, okay, I'm gonna prompt you. What does the client need? Okay, so when you think about the result you want to give them, what do they need to get that result? Okay, how much one-on-one access is actually needed to get that result? What is the time frame needed? Again, this will change. None of this is about perfect. As you're creating these offers, as you're working through them, they're going to change, they're going to evolve. That's the whole point. Okay, revolving door offer. Can feel the energetic block of not wanting more success because I don't want to be at capacity or burnt out. Oh, Lauren, I so feel this. Especially too when we have some trauma with a past burnout experience, or when we have felt at our capacity before, it's that fear of I never want to go back there again. I'm a person, I'm the mentor that's going to tell you to go to the worst case scenario and reverse engineer it. Asking yourself and really putting you in that seat. Okay, you're reaching capacity, you're running a group program, it's filling up, you're loving it. And say you start to notice your capacity being met. You start to notice yourself going there. Do you trust yourself to lead yourself out of it? Do you trust yourself to implement the pivots, the tweaks, the little changes, the client communication, the boundaries? Do you trust yourself now to lead yourself out of that? Do you trust yourself to make the changes that will be necessary if and when that time ever does come? And when we can like breathe into that, like, okay, actually, yeah, I do. And we can, even if it really depends, what supports your mind more, but if it really supports your mind to even like list out, okay, well, what are some things? Like, what are some strategies? And then suddenly we can stack that safety into our system again. And so we're going to get into like sales and how we view selling and sales and growth. But it's a really good opportunity for anybody feeling this, because I remember feeling this, to really ask yourself, okay, like what would I need? So for me, as I was growing, I was like, I still need multiple days a week where I have no calls. None. I am that high maintenance. Yes, I need that. For those of you that are into human design, those of you, I know there's a bunch of you waiting on the replay. So for those of you that I know are into human design, I am a 2-5 projector. So like this girl is a hermit, okay? But yet also meant to lead. So how ironic. And so my way of really going against the rules here was making sure I had a business model set up where I'm on calls a couple days a week. Some weeks I might have 4 calls on my calendar. That would be like a max. And then I can actually take care of myself. Go on the afternoon walks. I have a massage today when we're done this. Like taking care of myself. That's my need. Because then I'm going to leave the massage. I'm going to be all lit up. I'm going to probably share in stories. I'm going to answer clients, get my step, whatever else. But asking yourself that, because the fear is real, especially if you've experienced any extent of feeling really extended and met at your capacity. So powerful. Absolutely. Yes. I know how to lead myself and it doesn't. So good. Lauren, I always forget you are also a 2-5 projector. So good. Oh, we love it. Okay. So when it comes to the offer creations, offer tweaking, implementing another offer, if you've been only coaching one-on-one and you're ready to be known for like a signature process, but you don't want to open and close launch it all the time, I love reoccurring or revolving door offers for the sake of recurring income, for the sake of simplicity, for the sake of every single month. I feel like this question will come next. Like, well, how are you always taking in clients? Every single month, I'm able to look at my client capacity tracker. It's a spreadsheet that we help clients create. I'm able to see what clients I have, in what capacity, where they're at. I'm able to look at my calendar, look at life, think about my children, school, field trips, all of those, because we're not open to missing those either, and ask, what is my capacity? And Lauren, this might be really nourishing for you as well. So it's like, okay, and I can drop in and picture, okay, well, if I took on 2 new privates, whew, that might be pushing it. But if I opened up capacity for 10 more people in my membership, or if I opened up 3 new spots in the mastermind, I can go there. If I want to open up one-on-one sessions, we haven't done that since prior to summer, but I can literally pick what I want to sell and be intentional about selling it. Yesterday we had our membership call and we actually like prompted them to pick one intentional thing to be selling for this entire month of September based on capacity and nourishment so that we could be normalizing that. So each month I'm asking myself, what do I actually have the capacity for? And I can be so intentional about pre-planning that month's worth of content, emails, whatever vibes I want to get into around that offering, making any little changes I might need to make, and anything to do with it. And simply promoting those spaces. Maybe this month I don't talk about unrealistic, but maybe next month I'm like, okay, now I'm ready. Unrealistic is my signature mastermind. Maybe I have 4 spots I'm opening or 3 spots that I'm going to open. And I'll promote them. And then they'll come in on their own timing. They'll have their VIP call. Then they'll go into the group experience. But I'm not doing this to like fit in or be understood. I'm doing this to make sure that I can show up in my integrity of my values for my clients, support them like they deserve, also have my needs met, and be able to meet the other areas of my life outside of business. There's no perfect one way. There's no perfect one strategy. You literally can't fuck this up. You can't. As long as you're checking in with these things while you're building and while you're setting your foundation so that you can have the scalability and the simplicity and the nourishment while you rise. Does anybody want to workshop offerings or things that they are creating? Yes, haha. Honestly, I'm not a people person. Hermit for sure. I love that, Bailey. Reoccurring income is what turns your approach from hustle into sustainable freedom. So it's what makes you breathe differently as a business owner. So if I was starting my business every single month, so September 1st came and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm selling. What am I going to say? What am I going to post? I got to make sure I do a launch. I got to make sure I run a masterclass. You guys know I run these like very seldom, literally when I desire, when I'm sparked by usually clients. Like I don't have any feast and famine. I have no scarcity. I have no lack of security. And that helps me breathe and approach business differently as a business owner. Makes me make decisions differently, solve problems differently, approach upcoming events differently, look at this season of raising small children, or smallish children differently. So how can you implement more breathing room or offerings and support inside of your business structure? So what offers you have, how you deliver them to create more breathing room for yourself. And then I want you to write this down. People want to pay me to help them solve problems that would take them years on their own. Okay. People buy experience. People don't always buy expertise, but they will always buy experience, story, transformation. We're going to get there. People will pay more to have a plan that leads them to the destination that they want. Put your hand up if you're that person, because I am that person. High value humans value solutions. They're not looking for you to have 15 million certifications on the wall, okay? They're looking to share or see what you share, hear that you have the story that they align with, hear that you have a value match, and that you have a solution to a problem that they would like to solve. Because high value humans, which are going to be your high ticket investors, high ticket buyers, your dream clients, honestly, your self-led individuals, they are going to be the ones that know what problems they have. And if they don't totally know what it is, your content's going to help them pinpoint the problem awareness. And when they recognize and dissect, this is the problem I have, now I want to solve this problem and I don't want to waste my time. So let me know if that's resonating with you. And any questions you can share or unmute if you would like to dig into your current offerings. Okay. Step 4, brand story, and your marketing. So the story that makes you remembered, trusted, and highly paid. What is your brand transformation? So I feel like we get really caught up in authority content, in education content, in top of funnel hooks, and trying to go viral instead of actually asking, what does my buyer need? Am I meeting their needs? Right. And that's where we can really simplify how you market and how you approach your marketing. Guilty educational posts. Been there, Jen, definitely been there. I'm pretty sure we can probably all raise a hand to this. But it's great awareness to have. So something we have in our vault for our members is marketing to your cold, warm, and hot audience and how to dissect where you're at. So it's like when you realize I'm going to draw it for you guys. We're going to draw this. And we're not going to judge my pie chart making skills. Okay. When you look at, can we see this? I'm hoping so. This is your audience. Okay. And when you think about cold, warm, hot, these are your buyers. If you're constantly posting the same type of content for cold or warm, but you don't actually know how to provoke and sell to your hot, or you don't actually know how to take your cold and make them warm, or vice versa, warm to hot, you don't know how to ride this cycle with them, you're going to continuously be getting the same results, right? You're going to be the bestie vibes. You're going to be the girl that's going viral but staying broke. You're going to be the one that's spending hours and hours and hours a day on social media, which is like the last thing you actually probably want to be doing if you're in my world. If you don't know how to actually bring them through this. And so knowing what your audience needs so that you can make sure you're meeting their needs and not making it about you. And simply remember, right, this is about them. Let's just keep meeting their needs and watching that compound. I have a client, she's been, fun story for you guys. She is in the starting season of her business. She's an FDN, so a functional diagnostic nutritionist, and she is 6 weeks into posting content, 6 weeks into offer creation, 6 weeks into just building her business. And she was reaching a point by week 4 where she was like now getting consistent with the messaging, because this does take a little bit. First 2 weeks were a lot of clarity, a lot of outlining, a lot of dissecting who she was going to be in her space. And I reminded her, I want to say it was last week. It was like last Wednesday, I want to say, that every single thing she's posting is giving her audience a puzzle piece. And so when you think about every post you're posting, every post on your grid, it's a puzzle piece to your buyer's picture of being ready to buy. And that means they've worked through cold to warm to hot. And so they're collecting their puzzle pieces until they're like, oh, yes, okay, I'm in, I'm ready. I need this product, this service, this offering, this woman. I need this and I'm ready. So it's all a puzzle piece. And I kept reminding her, listen, you've only just started giving her puzzle pieces. Give her this time for them all to compound. And over the weekend, she sold 2 spots, and then she's got 2 more sales calls this week. Okay. And this is the power of, and this is where consistency starts to be built. So if you are, if you are feeling stuck on this, I really want you to lean into this segment, like ask the questions, literally bring your feed to the Q&A, whatever you need to do so that we can get you seeing how you approach your marketing so differently. Because as soon as I share this with clients and they go through that section of the vault where you're actually learning how to properly market, how you're learning to stand out, to use your message, to build a brand story, which we're going to do today, you'll suddenly see everything different. You won't be needing to go into your head. There won't be a, I don't know what to post. I don't know how I should post. I'm spending all these hours on content. It's not doing anything. You're going to know how to meet their needs just as you would want yours met, right? So when you have a brand story, it's something that you are known for, especially 2025. We're going into 2026. There are a lot of creators. There are a lot of authority people. There are a lot of educators. Now, none of that is being remembered. Because what do we remember? Story. Think about a child. Think about the imagination that we have, even as adults. Think about your favorite books, your favorite stories, your favorite brands. I bet you remember them because of the story or something that happened in the book, how it made you feel, something that stuck out. Now, how often are you sharing tidbits of your own personal story, of your transformation, your brand transformation? The transformation that took place because of something you stand for, stand against, or help women normalize. This doesn't have to be like a 10-slide story. This doesn't have to be going live every other day. This doesn't have to be even a reel in its own all the time. But this can be intentionally dropping it on your stories, right? You guys have seen me share it, I'm sure, if you're here. 5 years ago, I was losing chunks of my hair, breaking out, and experiencing health symptoms that came out of literally nowhere, to realize that I had built my business completely against myself and depleted my body. Now I've built, multiple 7 figures in revenue, raising 2 children, being a solo co-parenting mom with more white space than sometimes I know what to do with. and the ability to take care of myself, right? To scale with support, to scale with nourishment. And I'm often remembered for that. I'm remembered as the woman who was booked out on Zoom calls, thought that that meant success, thought that, six figures was great until I realized none of it was worth the version of me that my children were getting. And so I rebuilt differently. So, what are you being remembered for? What is the brand story that your audience is remembering you for? When was the last time you shared it? Like, actually acknowledge this. When was the last time that you shared that? So, what's really great about a brand story, about your brand transformation, you can have a few. Like, I would say I probably have four that I would like circulate around and that I just kind of stay cognizant of when I'm marketing and sharing and showing up on socials. But a story is going to give your audience proof because you're like literally showcasing in a very condensed way, hey, I've been where you are. Now I'm here because of this. Proof, authority, and clarity. Okay. And what you stand for, what you stand against, or what your values are. And that's how she's going to know this one's for me. I'm going to keep a close eye on her. I don't have all my puzzle pieces, but I'm going to get them. I really like this. I really resonate with this. So when she opens the app, it doesn't matter if you've posted yet today. This is where less can become more. She's going to be typing your name in, right? Because your story makes her feel something. Your story is that reminder. She's not crazy. It's possible. She can have that, heal that, overcome this, become this version of her. So you are the representation of what is possible for them through your work. Stop giving your power away to the fact that I don't have any testimonials yet, or I don't have great testimonials, I don't have enough testimonials yet, anything like that. Stop giving your power away to any of it and start actually seeing what happens when you represent the work that you do. Represent what it means to insert what you're doing, what you're looking to do, what your digital product, what you're offering, your group, your service does. And when was the last time you talked about it? When was the last time you showcased it? When was the last time that you just like took a little video of you doing whatever it is? Or went live while you did it, whether it's you meal prepping, whether it's you setting up your environment, cleaning up your space, whatever it is. Think about little examples and ask yourself if you're representing that. Because your audience is not looking for you to fit in with them. It's not about putting yourself up on a pedestal, but at the same time, it is about they're looking for a leader. You need to step into your leadership. You need to lead the way for others in order for them to desire to pay you, especially your higher ticket, higher value, more self-led, more driven type of client that's honestly going to get the results that you're here wanting for them anyways. So your audience is looking for a leader, not another peer. People don't pay you because you look like everyone else. They pay you because your story makes them trust that you can lead them somewhere new. That really resonates. Please write that down for yourself. Take a picture, do what you need. Come back to the replay later when it is out. You're so busy worrying about what someone else is posting, what someone else is sharing, what colors they're using, anything that has you in your mind, right? Is stemmed from an insecurity. And so how can we come back to step one, the self-recognition, and then clarity, the identity? Remember what we're doing, right? So what is our offering, how we're helping people? And am I sharing my story, my personal take, what I'm doing here, what I stand for, what I'm normalizing? Because at the end of the day, they're not going to pay you for looking like, sounding like anybody else. They're going to pay you because your story makes them trust that you can lead them to somewhere new, which is where they want to go. They're looking to exit their current situation, their pain or their problem. Okay, so what makes them pay you? Quick reminder, your story, trust, and desire. My favorite topic. I want you to put in the chat a number, and this doesn't have to be crazy out there. I really want you to feel very grounded about the number you put in the chat. And I want you to kind of like actually claim it as you're writing it and be like, yep, like sure of it. I want to know what your most ideal monthly income would be. Obviously, for the sake of this, we use 20K months. I want to know your most ideal income. 10K months. I love this. 20 plus K. Yes. 10K. When you're writing this, I don't want you to think of like what's doable or, oh my gosh, like what's realistic. Actually ask yourself what number you can get behind, what number you desire to be normal for yourself. We're going to be creating a new baseline in a minute. Okay, you can't call in or say you're available for 20K months if you also can't imagine signing a 10K client or a 5K client. Okay, if you can't imagine a client coming to you and being like, hey, I'm so in for that offering that you had, that one-on-one package or that high ticket package or that group space that you just opened, if you can't imagine people coming in and happily investing at that level with you, or say you have like a product and suddenly a company reaches out and they want to order 300 of them, it's like, oh, that sounds exciting, but like, are you actually open to that? No big deal. Totally neutral. Yeah, no problem. We'll get that right over to you. Awesome. Can't wait to support you. Let me send you the contract and the link. So really sitting with what comes up inside of your body and inside of your mind when you think about those situations taking place for you. And that will show you just where and what you have to normalize inside of your money mindset, inside of your nervous system. 16K seems to be my current cap with what my body is comfortable. I desire 30 though, if I'm honest. I love that. So then that's your gap, right? Like I love when we can recognize that, Lauren, that's amazing. To be able to know like, okay, where am I what is it? Is it the fear of burnout? Like maybe you've already kind of addressed that. Is it the fear of reaching capacity? Like what's really going on when it comes to breaking through that 16K? What would you need to know to be true? And what would you need to have set up for yourself for 30K to be completely normal? So a lot of the work that we do with our clients, and we have a lot of audios in the vault, is all around expanding your nervous system capacity to receive and hold larger and bigger amounts of money. It really, like and I'll be the first one to say, I was the girl that, was telling my partner at the time, oh my gosh, how cool, this is when I started coaching. How cool would it be if I just made like an extra 2K a month online? How cool would that be? And within, I want to say it was 6 months, I had crossed six figures. And within a full calendar year, I was scaling to 400,000. And it wasn't because I did more, right? Yes, I learned some lessons and I've pivoted the way that I deliver offerings and we restructured the business. But the work I was really doing was around consistently normalizing more money as normal to me, picturing more money in my bank account before it was actually in my bank account, actually holding the posture and the energy and the presence and the leadership I would need to have if I was that version of her already. And starting to just slowly with these small conscious actions and decisions and intentionality, like code that into my system, code that into what became my reality. I think I'll just take the normalizing of that amount because it is foreign. Yes. This is by far my biggest hurdle. It's so real. Like when I say so much of my conversations behind the scenes with clients who are really building, growing, and scaling, it's like, yes, obviously there's always a strategic component, but so much of it is how you're looking at money, what you think about money, your daily thoughts about money. your leadership around money, your leadership around receiving, your leadership around asking, your leadership around holding it. Deciding what's normal for you inside of your bank account, your business account, your sales, PayPal, whatever you're using. And just starting daily practices. I used to journal on it every single day. And I still would say I do a few times a week. Like you're never done unless you're done growing. But I feel like if you're here, you're not done growing. You're never done. So your business can only expand to the level your money beliefs will actually allow. And so you can get really frustrated and assume it's not working. Entrepreneurship's not for me. I'm not growing. This is not the niche for me. And you'll just fucking busy yourself. I see it all of the time. Women will start to grow and then they'll start to sabotage themselves because they've never reached or held that level of success. And they'll start to busy themselves. Assume this is it for me. I need to change my niche, change my approach, change my branding, change, more, do. And you've just simply hit your ceiling. That's all it is. Because your business just cannot grow beyond what your beliefs will allow you to. So if your vision is big, but your money capacity is small, you'll keep sabotaging your growth despite how bad you want it. Because I believe that you want it. I know that you want it. You're here. But it's like, what will you do when you recognize that part of you that comes online, right? When you notice that part of your brain go, ooh, okay, well, so-and-so is in this niche and they look like they're doing better than me. Maybe I should do what they're doing. Right? Or their branding looks like this. Maybe I should do what they're doing. Or they're talking in this way. Maybe I should talk how they're talking. And in reality, the best thing you could do is stay in your own world. Mainly because marketing is marketing is marketing. Let me humble you and remind you of that. As a business mentor who helps a lot of different people in a lot of different businesses, I see a lot of marketing and then I see a lot of bank accounts that don't match the marketing. So I want you to remember that as well. Stop looking external, right? Stop putting any of your power in testimonials or what other people are doing and keep coming back to, am I meeting my clients' needs? Am I clear? What are my gaps? Am I holding the identity that is needed? And what am I doing every single day about it? What am I improving on? What am I mastering? Keep coming back to those things. And that is where you will very quickly start to speed up bridging these gaps and you will notice them. It will compound. You will become that person that, broke free of that. Stepping out of the normal, comfortable, and accepting that it is possible. Yes. And creating your own little world where, like, of course that's possible, right? Of course this is it. This is just how things go for me. This is just my reality. This is just who I am. Like I had to, when I say unrealistic and we talk about our mastermind called unrealistic, it's because you'll reach a point in your journey where you'll know that's the space for you because you'll realize it really is how you have to become. You really truly have to start to think and believe things in an unrealistic way, unless you want to normalize and experience what everybody else around you is experiencing, having, holding, not holding, wishing. Right? So scaling your business will require scaling your money mindset. My business structure, I like sharing this story because I think it's important as well on the busy topic. My business structure, like my daily method of operations, my structure, what I do, what I focus on, how I support clients, my boundaries haven't changed really in 4 years, a good 4 years. What is time? It's so crazy. But what has is my leadership, how I view myself, my self-concept, my money mindset, right? And then that trickles in and overflows into how I'm showing up, how I'm marketing, how I'm catching any little distraction and nipping that, how I approach clients. So we don't want to stay in this trap of always assuming we need to be pivoting, changing, tweaking if what we're doing is working, but we're our own cap. And sometimes it's both. Sometimes it's the business is actually not set up to hold the day-to-day life you want and the results you want. And your money mindset, your belief system is also not set up to hold. So you're building two foundations, right? When I always say having a very secure and strong foundation to match the secure and consistent income you want, reality you want, that's what I'm talking about. Building your business structures to hold it, and then building your beliefs and your identity to hold it as well. So setting a new money baseline for yourself. We all have a baseline. We all have a baseline. What is normal to you? Right? When you think about normal, okay, well, for some, that could be like $300 in overdraft. That's just normal. Yeah, it's just like where I'm at right now, and you're like so neutral about it. For some of you, it's like, well, I always have like at least $1,000 in the bank. I always have at least 1,000 in savings. Some of you, it's like, I couldn't imagine a day where my business bank account didn't have at least $10,000 in it. Right? We all have a different level of normal, a baseline that we're currently residing at that's also matching everything else, the actions that we're taking, what we're believing, the identity that we're holding. I think you're getting the drift now. So there's the baseline of your current reality, bad level of normal right now. But the acknowledgement is everything, right? Like when we're so aware of that, I find the awareness super motivating. As soon as I know what I need to change, or as soon as I know where I'm at or what my gap is, I'm like, I make it a game. I literally turn it into my own little video game where I'm like, okay, who do I need to be? What do I need? I really get delusional and unrealistic about this. What boundaries do I need? What do I need to create or do? And it's just like the path should become so freaking clear for you. Right? So Jen, this should become pretty evident that you need to be working on money mindset, identity, and making sure your business is a match for that. That's what you need to be focusing on and mastering. How great that we now know all this other stuff is just simply noise, distracting us. How beautiful. Now watch where you are in 30 days. Fucking epic, right? Like I love that. So there's the baseline of your current reality and the baseline of the reality you know you're looking to build and create. So I want you to do the same thing. Take a note. Current and new. What is your current baseline? I want you to write it on one side of the paper. Literally, if you don't have paper, it could be a sticky note and you're just like doing this, okay? One side and the other. And what would be the baseline of the new? What would help you feel secure? What would help you feel free? What would help you feel confident, taken care of, cherished, supported? Mix my electrolytes. And so what do you need to start to see as normal? Literally, there was a time where I was like, okay, what? Instead of making 2K a month in my business and like using it, right? So it's like now we're, that's paying the mortgage or that's putting fuel in the cars or that's paying for the vacation or extra kids, whatever it was. Now it's like, okay, well, instead of starting over each month, 2K a month is always compounding. So I always have at least 2 to 4K in the business bank account at all times. Then that became the normal. Well, then it was like, okay, well, I want 10K a month in my business bank account and at least X amount in my personal bank account. I want my credit card paid off every single month. That's who I am now. That's normal. That's the type of business I'm creating. And if that's going to be my reality, this is the type of business I'm going to create to have that reality. And this is going to be what's required of my identity and my leadership. So then that became normal. Well, I was like, okay, well, I couldn't imagine a time where my business didn't have $20,000 in it. I literally couldn't imagine that. That makes me feel very free, very secure, very alive, very cherished, very taken care of, very confident, neutral, honestly, and super grounded as a business owner. That helps me breathe differently, as we talked about earlier. And just continuing to play in that realm, right? It could be you stay at one stage for a couple of weeks, and some stages for a couple of months or a year, or again, whatever. It's going to be dependent on your journey, what's going on, all the things that you're holding as a woman. It's going to change. But knowing these things, having these foundations, having this awareness, having this perspective and these approaches to support this is what's going to simplify it. So this isn't just like another thing to add to your already hour-long to-do list in the morning of getting ready and morning routines. It's more so becoming a way of life. Like I commute my kids to a different town for their education. And so I spend a lot of time during the school year in the car. Again, my business meets my need, right? Just to give you like another personal example. And that's another time where there's times where I'm just like jamming out and I'm transitioning from like CEO and cleaning the house or mentor, and I'm jamming out to whatever and switching over into mom mode. Other times where I'm turning off the music and I'm actually allowing myself to like really feel into the new normal, a new baseline. Could be minor little things, it could be a whole different ballgame. But getting curious, what do you need to set as your new baseline, and get specific, detailed, right down to the dollars if you want. If you're someone who really struggles to visualize things and close your eyes and see it in the bank account, then you can just start practice writing it out, writing it out, writing it out, writing it out, talking about it to yourself. I'm someone who really benefits from like verbally processing things. So like we called them manifestation drives, like when I was in my relationship. And now I just like will do this with my best friend, but or myself or my mentor. But finding your outlets, we used to call them manifestation drives, and we would drive around and be like, okay, well, there was a time where I was growing my business from like 10 to 12K months, and I was stuck, saying stuck because that was the season I pivoted my whole business. I was capped there. Like my business couldn't hold more again because I had built it at that time thinking I needed to rely on one-to-one. And so I was capped. I was really burned out, but I'm like, this ain't it. Like, I want more. Kind of had a Lauren moment. Like, I know I desire 30K. Like, I know that. Um, and so when we would drive, we would literally talk about, okay, well, if that's normal, what would change? And like literally go there in your mind. Stop going into your limitations, your proof from the past. You have to keep going into your future. You have to be thinking about your future, focused on your future, looking at your future, collecting new sources of proof about the future that you're creating, reminding yourself that it's possible, pretending you're there, and giving yourself that opportunity to be in it. And we would do that all the time. Again, and then I think it was with that same month, it was like 26 days later, we had crossed 32K for the month, which just is like crazy, right? Like that to me was like, oh my gosh, this is wild. But it wasn't all of this doing work. I wasn't launching. It wasn't a perfect marketing strategy. It wasn't a perfect launch plan, the most curated email, the most curated feed. It was me fully backing myself. It was me being so clear, so clear and specific. Who I am, what I'm doing, where I'm going, what's normal for me, and holding that level of energy. Okay, and the next step is now your sales and your selling. So I want you to ask yourself, what is your current relationship like with sales and with selling? You can share in the chat or you can write it down for yourself. Completely up to you. What is your current relationship like? Avoidant, fearful, uncomfortable, consistent. Maybe you're consistently selling and sharing. Sometimes good, sometimes not good. Great. You love selling. I love selling. What is your current relationship like? I think sometimes, depending on our season, depending on, what we know to be true so far, things that we've, followed, approaches we've listened to or followed, it's really important to remember that sales is actually an activation. Sales is the opportunity to activate your buyer into, an outcome of some sort or a solution of some sort. It's not about pressure. You don't have to feel this pressure of like, oh my gosh, I have to sell, but now I'm nervous to sell. And like, I'm nervous to share the offer, or I'm nervous to share this thing that I have, and I don't want to share too much or be salesy. We have to flip that script. Because your dream buyers want to hear how you're going to solve their problems. They want to hear the nitty-gritty details. They want to hear or feel the emotional experience, right? They want to be able to experience this. So as soon as you see yourself as an activated seller, your sales will feel more activating. Selling itself will be more activating, not just for you, but for them. But when you're showing up from this place of pressure, when you constantly feel the pressure to perform, oh my gosh, I have to get a sale. What am I going to do? I don't have sales. And you're operating from this place, okay, the current reality, you're going to feel like I have to convince. Marketing is going to feel very, very hard. You're going to feel stuck a lot. You're going to feel like a lack of creativity, a lack of playfulness within your marketing, within how you show up, how you talk, how you type, how you create videos, all of it. All of it. You really want to keep practicing flipping the script and coming back to remembering what sales actually is and what it gets to be. Your dream buyers literally want you to activate them and sell to them. They do not need or desire for you to convince them. This is also a skill set. So it's not something that I want you to be hard on yourself if it's been something that you haven't been having the easiest time with. It really is a skill set that is developed. Like I would say, oh, multiple times a week, I'm having this conversation behind the scenes with clients where we're either going over a sales process they just had, we're talking about one that they're about to go into, and we're having the conversations of catching where they're going into convincing. It's not even just in sales, it's in your marketing, right? Which is like the pre-sale, if you will. Your marketing is going to give them the puzzle pieces that make sure that they are ready. It's not about perfectly wording one pitch that's going to do it all for them. It's going to be a collaboration, a collection of touch points with you. So you can take that pressure off, right? And let it go a little bit and come back to how would I want to be sold to? How would I want to hear about this product? Find a way to get yourself seeing it in a less serious way, a less perfect way, less pressure-filled way, and come back to a little bit of activation around it. If this is your business and this is your livelihood and this is your day-to-day life, I want you to be having the time of your life. Your business will always be your greatest initiation for you to have your best life. Setting it up in a way to support you, running it in a way to support you, operating inside of it in a way to support you, working with people that you actually want to work with, right? Not just for the sale, but individuals that you know meet you and match you and that you really enjoy supporting. Okay, you're going to create consistent buyers through clarity, safety, and your leadership consistently. So you consistently holding everything that we're talking about and bringing that to your market consistently is going to give them the puzzle pieces. And then that's going to create the consistency of click, last piece, click, last piece, click, last piece, which is going to lead them to applying, DMing you, placing their order, pressing submit, pressing pay now, whatever it is. So when women feel seen and led by you, they become repeat buyers. This kind of goes back to what we said. You're going to see like a lot of these things are connecting. When we talked about she's not looking for another peer, she's looking for a leader. This is another perfect example of that. Avoidant. Almost feels like I'm holding my breath. Yes. Okay. So interesting. Good. Selling our product. One second here. We got down pat, but now I find it's over flooded. Everyone is on the Tyler train. I feel like I need to shift my selling to stand out more or offer something new. Naturopathic, focused, make me stand out. Definitely. And like also just asking what the experiences you want them to have with your product, right? Your product, your brand, your services, your digital downloads. It's all an experience. It's all an experience. And so, yeah, there's so many fun takes you'll be able to do with that, Bailey. And this is what I mean too, where when we start to have these little moments of realizations, right, and clarity, it's again an initiation. Am I actually having fun marketing my tallow right now? And if you're not, what do you want to do that's different? Is there something you've been avoiding doing, something you've been wanting to do? And you get to get curious. And to anybody who's feeling avoidant, this was me too. I would say my first year in business, I used to like almost feel winded after, like that feeling of holding your breath when it comes to sales. And super curious on what your beliefs are when it comes to what do you believe is true about receiving money around offering a service, offering a product. It definitely is something that requires just a lot of reps as well. But I would say the more that I have shifted my self-concept and my identity around like how I view myself as someone who sells and just even what selling is, I've created a lot of freedom in that for myself and obviously others. So good, ladies. Okay. If there were no wrong way, this is where you guys can get a little creative too. If there was no wrong way to make sales, no wrong way, you couldn't fuck this up. How would sales work in your world? So if you have a service, if you have an offering, if you have a group program, do they DM you a word, fill out an application, and you have a back and forth conversation? Do you just hop on a call, nip it on the butt, and like have the conversation, yes, or like they're in or they're not, move forward? Are they just DMing you and you're having a DM conversation? Are they submitting a form? Like, what would you like to happen? What makes the most sense for your life? What makes the most sense for knowing your ideal client and what they need? I think sometimes we overthink this part. We kind of not overthink it. We miss this part because we're so overthinking the other parts of what makes us uncomfortable. When really, if you can remember that sales is about meeting their needs, sales is about understanding where their nervous system is at in the selling process and be able to meet that. Being able to read people, being able to ask questions and get curious on where they're at so you know how to support them. You know what questions to ask. You know what they might need. 30-minute clarity call. Perfect. Voice noting, single form, no discovery call. Love that. Okay. And if you have a product, also asking yourself, how do I desire this to go? How do I want to sell my products? How do I want the sales process of that to go? What do I want them to be able to do or have? And this is where creating some neutrality around things will really help. So I want you to write this down. The less attached you are to making the sale, the more they feel safe in choosing you, regardless of how you're doing it. So when I tell you literally can't do this wrong, I promise you, I have so many women in my world that sell and do sales so differently. Every single one of them. And it works for all of them. As soon as they're starting to understand these components and master these, philosophies when it comes to sales and selling, especially women to women. Okay, so the less attached you are to the sale, the more they feel safe choosing it. We ran a feminine sales masterclass months and months ago now at this point. I want to say if it was still winter, I'm not sure. Anyways, it was a good chunk of time ago. But you can DM me if you haven't listened to it yet. And in there, one of the things I share, so specifically around selling and sales as a woman to women, in a non-pushy, icky way. But if she knows that she can say no, she'll say yes. And so I was sharing a voice note to a client yesterday, and I was giving her the example of like, you're simply in a voice note, like, oh my gosh, I absolutely love that. I have this free, whatever it is. I think she was she's like, I want to give her the free guide. I really think she could use it. I'm like, then you're literally gonna say, hey, speaking on that, I actually have a free guide. It's gonna help you do this and this. A lot of people in the community have been loving it. If you want it, let me know. I'll shoot it over. And if not, I hope you're having an amazing day. You'd probably be like, you know what? Yeah, sure. Send it over. But when you're like, hey, here's a big, big, big paragraph. And like, let me send you my guide. Oh, and now that I've sent you my guide, here's another big, big, big paragraph. You're like, oh my gosh, beat it. Go. Ugh, it's too much. But when we can say yes, or sorry, when we can say no, we're more inclined to say yes. Customers buying or tell about discovery call on the root cause and supporting gut health. Ooh, Bailey, this is so deep. I love how, yes, root cause you're going with this. That is so epic. So being able to have consults for the support internally and then the products for the external. Oh, so good. So good. Okay. I want to open this time up before I go into sharing a very special offer I have for you. And you guys, I want you to know you can be this excited about creating offers for people that could use them and that solve problems. Like you can be this excited. But let's open things up. If anybody wants to unmute, ask questions, get feedback, workshop something, create something, whatever it is that you're looking to do. Honestly, now's the time to do it. You've got my time for free. This space is for you. My strategy sessions are like 500 plus. So, like, seriously, take advantage of this time. Any questions? Any thoughts? Yeah, girl. Jen, you can unmute or however you feel comfortable sharing.
Okay, I'll unmute. So I know you talk about kind of doing evergreen programs where they're just always open. And I had already planned to do it like a group program called Nourished Alchemy that I wanted to be like 8 weeks long with like a beginning and an end just to start.
Yeah.
Um, and like I've only got one person. I only wanted 5 women and I have one person registered and it's supposed to be starting at the end of September. And I'm like, how realistic is it for me to fill those 4 spaces? And do I just keep promoting it, keep talking about it, keep sharing? Or do I like change the date to launch it for like November 1st? Just curious your thoughts around something like that.
I love this question, and I'm going to give you a two-prong approach here. It's just how I roll. I want you to notice the part of you that was looking to make you feel comfortable first, right? That was like, okay, well, maybe I'll just extend the date instead of asking, okay, well, what does this person need? Exactly, Lauren. 4 spots could be filled today.
Mhm.
Just simply, what do they need? Because 4 spots could be filled today, this week, before the weekend, on the weekend, next Monday. I want you to keep reminding yourself, like, all it takes is 2 days of the month to have your highest cash month. All it takes is to have 2 good sales days to have your highest sales month.
Right.
That is so ingrained and like right away it's like, oh my gosh, see, it's not working. Okay, I'm gonna extend it because then I'll feel comfortable and like it's just so interesting where we're not stretching into who we need to be to simply have the result.
Totally get it. Okay. So just hold the frequency,
Yeah, and
the
hold
four
your
women.
peace. Like I would be curious, take a look at your marketing and
Mm-hmm.
like actually audit yourself, audit your stories, audit your posts, audit your emails, audit your conversations. What and ask yourself, what would I want to receive on the other end? Am I saying the same things? Maybe what you're saying needs to be said differently. Maybe we're not being really clear on what she's going to achieve
Yeah.
or the
Okay.
details. Are we actually marketing like I only have 4 spots? We are starting
Mm-hmm.
on this date. Like, do this if you're ready to finally XYZ.
Okay. Got it.
And I would more so get curious on, yeah, the beliefs that are keeping you in the current so that you can go meet where you need to go. And then also then going and looking on a strategic level, like what is my marketing actually looking like? Um, and like what does my buyer need?
Okay.
Yeah, such a
Yeah.
good question.
Thank you.
So exciting. Any other questions or thoughts that would support you? Anybody? Everyone feels good. Oh, you're so generous to offer this training for free. Yes, of course. I love it. Love this. Okay. I will, once again, I'm just going to shrink this again. You guys would laugh so hard at me too if you understood how like not tech savvy I am. We're over here making this work. Okay. So good. So I have a very special offer that I would love to get into with you guys. And first, I just want to recap a lot of the things we went over. You are going to get this replay. So I really would invite you to rewatch, really sit in some of the approaches, the philosophies, how we look at things, and so that you can ensure that you're always building and setting things up to really support your needs. I feel like I've been really loud and clear about that. And hopefully that has really landed. But sometimes there's still those little question boxes. And I really want to make sure that you're giving yourself and getting the space that you need with them. So, beliefs, right? We always want to start there. Align your mindset with where you are going. Please remember this piece where you are going. We are not looking to the past for proof of the future. We will continue to relive the same cycle. Identity. Stand firm in who you are and what you stand for. This is your secret sauce. More ownership of this is going to make you feel more alive, more you. Set the boundaries, mute the accounts, stop consuming. Just take up some big freaking space in your space and see what happens when you do that. Your model, offers built for recurring income and freedom. So making sure that you're building, structuring, and outlining your offers or products or services to meet your daily needs and what's going to actually be the most results driven and supportive for your clients. And then your story. So share the story that makes you trusted and paid. Um, Getting familiar. Okay, what is my story? What are different ways I can practice sharing my transformation that also holds authority, showcases my process, my formula, my offering, my product, my service? Money, expanding your capacity to receive more, and being in this work daily, being in this small micro steps. It adds up. Every single thing is compounding, whether it's stacking it into your morning routine when you're brushing your teeth, whether it's when you're driving, whether it's when you're journaling. I feel like we gave you lots of examples here that you can execute on. And then sales. Sell like a woman to women. Stop putting the pressure on yourself to feel like a dude, like a bro, being all gun-ho and bro-y about it. Actually ask yourself in every single situation, how would I want to be sold to? How would I want to be responded to? How would I want to be offered this? How would I want this to be brought into my awareness? How would I want to be followed up with? And do that. And release some of that pressure that you've been holding and having around it. See how differently you actually come up and approach the situation as a whole. So good. Okay, so we now have a very special invitation for you between now and Friday. If you liked this framework and these approaches that we spoke about today, Freedom Society is my signature membership. Most of you are probably very familiar with it. For now, by now, we've been running this for years. This is where you get instant access to the vault with all of our teachings, our formulas, our foundations. We're going to walk you through every section of it, right from your identity to clarity, to your niche, to your market, to your marketplace, to your offering, to how you message and attract, how you sell, and how you lead. As well as we get 2 monthly coaching calls where you'll be able to, just like this, come up. This is what I'm working on. Can you give me feedback on this? What do you think about this? Hey, can we workshop my content? Can we workshop my offering? Can you help me with this sales approach I've been doing? Or like, these are my most recent sales conversations. What could I do differently? And you're actively working to master and implement all the things we actually talked about today so you can finally live the outcome. So this is the space where I do recommend most people to start if you're looking to scale to consistent 10K months while working anywhere from 2 to 5 hours a day, depending on your needs, depending on your business. So your business actually gives you the life that you started it for. So in order to experience our very special offer, we're doing $87 off per month. Like, I've literally never done this. You can lock in this price for as long as you are in the membership. It is a month by month. So you can get it for $110 a month instead of $197 by using the code LOCKEDIN at checkout. So you will be getting an email after this. If you're wanting to jump in now and just get instant access to everything, you can DM me on Instagram and I'll send you the link and remind you of the code. But this does expire Friday. So just keep that in mind. I've literally never ran a promotion like this for the membership, and I probably never will again, but it woke me in the night. So I'm like, we're running a promotion. This is really fun. And now is such a great season, right? We're getting into fall. Everybody's getting organized. Everybody's ready to see results. Everybody's ready to get to work. And then we've got Black Friday, the holidays, and the start of the new year coming. So if you're ready and already knowing you want to be having success before the new year, you definitely want to be starting now. So how to know if this is for you, right? If you're ready to learn and create high ticket recurring income, kiss goodbye the income caps and booked out calendars. You're really ready to learn to build and create your way. Get out of the launch burnout and create consistent high ticket sales from your marketing, from a process that actually matches your needs. We do obviously teach you launching and push content and approaches, but we do not teach only that approach. You guys see the way I run my business and see the way that we build and grow. So you get that idea. You're ready to get in the driver's seat of your brand, create messaging that gets you highly paid and highly seen without blending in so your community is actually ready to invest with you without you needing to figure out how to convince them. You're ready to be the go-to leader in your industry, whether you're building or growing right now. You know and desire to know exactly where to focus for your specific goals so that your work days look more like 2 to 5 hours of intentional work that moves the needle. You get to clock out, you can hit the spa, meet up the girls, or unplug with your babies, whatever season of life that you're in as a woman right now. It's all about actually knowing what's needed so you can tune out the noise and actually start getting the results and seeing the momentum that you need instead of distracting or depleting yourself with busy. Become the CEO that is confident and neutral around the idea of 2K, 5K, 8, 10, 15K sales days and sales in general. To lead coaching spaces that result in 6 figures worth of referrals and re-signs a year. You guys hear me talk about results driven a lot. You hear me talk about the word responsibility and intentionality a lot. This is why. Had I not built my business with the results of you in mind and like knowing what you need to get where you're going and like what you need to know, see, do differently, which is things we teach you how to implement in your own business, we wouldn't have like at least $150,000 to $200,000 a year in referrals and re-signs. These are sales I don't even have to do. Like these are sales that are taking place for us, clients that are re-signing, moving up, whatever that looks like. If you're ready to lead a business that actually feels secure, strong, and scalable, you are going to want to know how to do those things. And the sooner you implement them, obviously, the sooner you can have that ease and that support and that result. So, how this works, you're going to use the code LOCKEDIN, all one word at the checkout. It will only be active until Friday. Like after Friday night, it will not work anymore. And this will save you $87 a month for as long as you are enrolled. You're going to get instant access to our upgraded vault of tutorials, lessons, and resources, as well as the signature audio mindset series. A lot of clients like tend to listen to that on like their hot girl walks, their drives, when they're getting ready. We've got an audio for literally everything and anything that you're looking to upgrade and normalize. You'll get a list, an instant list of all of our 2025 and 2026 calls. So you can put them on your calendar, get them scheduled, make sure you feel supported, and then join us every 2 weeks on our calls. Our next one is Monday. So for those of you that do join and get this special, be able to jump on Monday. We can talk about your business model, what season of business you're in, what you need to create, what you need to do, what I would do, any marketing around it, and actually get to work on implementing the changes that are really necessary. You're going to also get instant access to our community in Telegram. So support, feedback, questions, celebrations. Most importantly, and you guys will get this, when you're building and scaling your business, and you start to realize there's not many people that think and act the way that you do, being in a community around a bunch of other people doing the same thing and thinking the same way and learning the same things, mastering the same things, and building a reality that is quite literally not normal and unrealistic is so powerful. So we did recently in the last year implement this community for you in this way, and I quite love it. So in that space, you're also able to put in questions that you have for like upcoming calls if you know you're not gonna be able to be live, and you get the instant access to the replay afterwards so you can make sure you're listening to the feedback that you're getting. And then finally, build your business in a way that supports your needs and start living out your vision. US, yes, it is in US. When are the calls with you, dates and times? So you get a whole list of them. They are Mondays. They are 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We try and meet it in the middle because we do just have so many different time zones that we support and deal with. So hopefully that answers those questions. Again, once you're in, you'll get a whole list of all of it. We also have member only upgrades that again, you'll get access to and be able to see once you're actually in the space. But you can add them on as you need, depending on your seasons. You know, clients will add them on if they're creating offers, you know, mastering a new messaging approach, really bridging their gap in their messaging or their leadership or their mindset and their approach to business, and just having that support in your back pocket on a Monday to Friday basis can be so helpful. Oh, I think we're freezing a bit, but I will leave this here. If you know that you're desiring a higher level of support too, and I hope, yeah, it up here. Oh my goodness, going out with a bang. And I will chat with you all